Thank you for all those who have participated in today's meeting. As per our monthly schedule with the residents meeting, today we'll be having two presentations in depth. One is from ATDC and one is from Auroville. And so we'll start with ATDC, where after the presentation, you can ask for up to 5 to 6 questions. And if there's more required, we'll see what is needed. So we call upon Sindhuja from ATDC.
Hello everyone, welcome. We have only one presentation to make today because we have made consecutive presentations on planning and implementation on those things. So we will do that next month. This month, we would like to take this opportunity to present, which we have already presented, the New Birth Housing Project, but to present in a bit more detail and to also call upon people here and also eventually through YouTube and other channels to sign up for the project and to donate towards the project. So there are two kinds of donors. One is a contributor donor who will be engaged in the project. Auroville is not going back to the selling apartments per square meter model. We don't want to go back to that. But people who want to live in this and have money are asked to freely and generously contribute, knowing the cost of the project, which I'll be presenting in a minute. And we are also going to be appealing to worldwide donors through our donation portals. So the housing project is called New Birth. Many of you are aware because we have presented this a few times. So this is a presentation which is made so that it can go up on portals. So there is a lot more detail than is needed for this meeting because we are all well aware of the context in which this project is being proposed. So I'll go through the first slides fast. So of course, this project is the next thing that needs to happen in Auroville because we have a housing crunch. We've heard this term for quite some time now, and it's come back again in the vocabulary because we have a whole bunch of newcomers and volunteers and Aurovillians who are waiting to be housed in so-called permanent housing. So we need new housing project, a new housing project or several new housing projects, collective housing projects, which are not just about building houses, but they're about building up the residential zone. So building the residential zone comprises a good amount of social infrastructure that will cater to the immediate needs of the residents who live there, which right now in the residential zone, many of us live in the residential zone, we know that social infrastructure is almost absent. So this project places a lot of emphasis on the building up of social infrastructure, which increases the cost of this project, but will decrease the cost of future projects which develop in the neighborhood of this one, because all those projects, and also not to mention the projects of the past, which are around this without social infrastructure, which will rely upon and share the amenities offered by this project. So we take the inspiration of the term new birth from a saying of Sri Aurobindo or several sayings of Sri Aurobindo and Mother. Why new birth? Because we believe that this project is a new way that Auroville will be building collective housing in Auroville, especially in the residential zone, where right now what we see is fenced off neighborhoods, communities which don't interact with each other in any meaningful way. It's not what the galaxy envisages. So we want these sectors to be born again into what they were always meant to be, a new birth for the sector 1, at least this project will be. So as we know, we have to get to the population of 50,000 people. Right now we have about 2,800 people living in Auroville, and not just in the residential zone. I've already touched on the immediate need for housing. This project will be located in the lowest dense sector of the residential zone, that is sector 1. It is still a denser project than what sector 1 currently houses. Right now we have Vibrance probably, which is the most dense settlement in sector 1, but still it is just a block. It's just an apartment block that doesn't really interact with the rest of Sector 1. So this one penetrates Sector 1 like this. So the orange buildings are existing buildings. This will be Arati, these will be Sofio, and so on. This is again another phase of Sofio, and here is Maduka. So, and this is the parking of Arati. And to the west of this project lies Humanscapes. So basically all the way from Humanscapes up to Maduka, Sukhavati, and eventually connecting to Gaya, this project expands from more dense urban quarters here. In the master plan context, this is still relatively very low density, and then it becomes scattered lower density settlements towards Gaya, towards Maduka, which is what the galaxy calls for. So as you see, it does penetrate into the heart of the sector. When we put this out last time, we very much expected it. We already received a feedback saying, but it's too close to my window. I live here, I live in Arati, I live in Sofio, so it will be close to some existing settlements in a way that those residents may not have imagined Auroville will develop, but Auroville has to develop along those lines. So it's another view to show you how it integrates into Sector 1. Here on top here is Surrender, and this is Grace, this is Sanjana. So all the white buildings here in between basically creeps its way nicely and settles into the sector. So the project will house eventually, or is planned for an eventual density or a maximum density of 383 residents. It goes from G+1 to G+2 and back to G+1 towards Maduka and Sukhavati. This is actually an Odai Porambok which cuts across Grace and passes through the residential sector. So again, we are doing sector level planning, so all the waterways and Odai Poramboks and non-buildable zones are demarcated. There are three clusters. One is towards Arati, one is in the middle of the the whole plan, and the third cluster is towards Maduka. Cluster 1 will house 90 people, cluster 2 178, and cluster 3 115. How did we arrive at these numbers? The master plan provides for a family of 4 as a maximum population in an apartment of 75 square meters. Now sometimes it might be 3 also if it's a family with 1 child, but this is the maximum population that it can house. Again, how is the couple apartment calculated? For every 6 single apartments, 1 is a couple apartment. So there may be 3 of them which are occupied by couples. So it kind of balances itself. The numbers are derived from the master plan. So from here on out, the allocation will be done for couples and singles in studios and for families in family-sized apartments. There is no room for, I'm a single person, but I have more money, so can I pay for a 2-bedroom apartment? That's not going to happen. So the allocation principles will be in consonance with what the master plan dictates. And of course, the past will also have to then be retroactively corrected, especially for the younger ones living in larger sized housing or whose needs have changed but still remain in larger housing, and vice versa. People who live in small housing but have become a family of 4, these shifting for existing housing also needs to be done by the housing service. And the social infrastructure is listed here, more or less. There is a community kitchen, a laundromat, and parking for e-vehicles, much like in Kalpana. And there is also a creche and a playground provided for children. And there is all the essential infrastructure which is provided within these 3 clusters. Essential infrastructure includes space to house the transformers, the substations, the meters, the OFC panel, the TRAI racks, and all of that has been planned into the project. So the plans have been already drawn up. next is for us to engage a structural engineer and consultants like MEP consultants to go into the detailed planning. But first we would like to secure some amount of donations and funding before we enter that stage. We are speaking to FAMC about getting funding for further project development. And the floor plans are very simple. The apartments are typical, like how Sunship was given. The apartments design will be standardized. Inside, there will not be room for personal preference too much. There will be some template that is given, and then of course the occupant is free to decorate the apartment, but there will not be options to change the flooring and change the wardrobes and things like that. So it will be standard templates. And we are working also with water service, electrical service and so on to see how the stormwater management, which this project will have a big impact on because Sector 1 is right now empty, how it can be managed, landscape management, and also integration of solar systems directly into the project with a backup system housed in the project and so on. Next. More plans. Next. We are well aware of the context. Next. So that's the location of Sector 1. Next. The total site is about 5 acres. Next. So if you look here carefully, the intra-sector roads are also planned now that we are at the sector level planning. Right now there are only mud roads in Sector 1, which are serving as access to the communities, but it can't be the long-term road. So these sector roads in the residential zone, they will not be cutting across the sectors and providing a shortcut from radial to radial. The crown and the outer ring road alone provides connectivity radial to radial. So we have intra-sector roads which end at certain developments, and from there the campus which is developing will plan their own campus roads. Next. So this is how the cluster development looks. 3 clusters, like I said. This is cluster 1, which is entirely connected by yellow network of walkable shaded bridges. Cluster 2, which sits here, and cluster 3, which starts to play more with what is around it because the galaxy accommodates for it. And this is G+1, and as you can see, G+2 is only cluster 1 and a part of cluster 2 and a bit of cluster 3. A lot of the cluster 2 remains as G+1. Next. Community facilities will look like this. They are placed at the beginning of the sector towards the radial, so they are more accessible for existing communities like Vibrance and Arati and Invocation and whatnot. Next. Some more views to enjoy. Next. Here we see the plans in a bit more close-up. We can take a moment to look at it, so in case anybody has any questions later, they can be answered. You can just go through the slides slowly, giving it 30 seconds at a time. Cluster 1, first floor, block 1. It's always a mix of studios and family apartment, roughly in the ratio of 60-40. Block 2, no community infrastructure, but essential infrastructure placed here. That's it. Thank you. Project cost was in one of the slides before. If you can keep going back, we can just stay there. Yeah, I didn't announce it, but we can just look at it for a minute. So the total cost of the project is 57.1 crores for 383 residents. So it will be built in phases. It can, the idea also is that it can be built in blocks. As the money comes, the dividable, but they'll be attached later through bridges, connected later through bridges. The only thing is cluster 1, 2 and 3, cluster 1 and 2 bears the social infrastructure cost for cluster 3 and for surrender and for invocation and whatnot. So the cost per apartment or cost per person is calculated roughly for the whole thing. Instead of saying block 1 will cost this much, block 2 will cost this much. Because if I tell you block 1 will cost X, you will see that the cost per capita is much higher than it should be. Whereas in cluster 3 it will be much lower. So we have taken an average here and donations will be raised based on the average of course, but it can be built in phases. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, we'll take the first question.
So is it per person something like 57 lakhs?
Crores.
Per person?
Per person?
For the whole project?
No, for the whole project it's 57 crores.
Okay.
Per person you want to know? We have to do
About?
383 divided by 383. 57 crores divided by 300.
Okay.
I think it comes to around 15-16 lakhs. 15 or 16 lakhs per person.
That is actually very reasonable. For
Yes.
how many square meters per person?
So, the family apartment has about 18 square meter per person because it's 75 square meter for 4.
Mm-hmm.
But the studios are 25 square meter per person. But they are 30 square meters a piece. So it's 6 studios divided it's 5 studios divided by 6 people.
Okay.
So it's in an average, it comes to about 22 square meter per person.
Reasonable.
Average, yeah.
Very reasonable. And actually on the pictures, what you see, I think that is just an ideological idea. The outer front, the facade is not really designed. Is that true? Because I see a lot of big glass windows. I wonder if that's practical in this climate, or like you have a lot of facade with big glass windows in the pictures.
You're asking me if there'll be less windows eventually?
Yeah.
If it's conceptual to have so many windows, is that the question?
Yeah, I'm a bit scared of the climate inside. Is it going to be very hot if you have just the front with only glass?
Well, the facade, the windows shown here will be the windows, but the overhangs, they are quite large, which is not probably coming through here because it's very well lit, the renders. The glass windows are very shaded.
Okay.
I personally have designed and lived in houses with big windows, but if the overhang is very large, in the tropical climate, it works very well because you can keep your windows open and there's a lot of cross ventilation.
Okay.
So it will look like this, but the overhang, keep in mind that the overhang is quite generous. It's not an 80 centimeter overhang. It's more like 1.5 meters of overhang
So
all around
shaded.
the apartments. Yeah.
Sorry, one more practical question. Are these apartments going to be available for air conditioning or not?
Yes, it will be designed for air conditioning.
Okay. So that's
But
all.
no compressors on the elevation.
Pardon?
No compressors hanging on the elevation.
Okay.
We will design the ducts, the shafts, so that the compressors are located on the roof and the copper piping is also hidden, but not hidden in the wall, accessible and so on. We have learned this in Auroville that we don't want to not design for ACs because eventually we have to plan for them.
Yeah.
But if you don't plan for them, you will have your facade completely made ugly with hanging wires and compressors. So it will be planned for, but not provided for in the budget.
Okay. Thank you. I'm very happy that some realistic housing is going to happen soon, hopefully.
Hi Sindhuja, I just did the calculation and it comes to 14.9 lakhs per person.
Yeah.
Then I did another calculation per square feet. It comes to 3,250.
Yeah.
So the DPR says for a standard housing it is anywhere between 1,800 to 2,500.
Which DPR?
Pondicherry.
That's not a DPR.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
sure you're talking about the PAR.
Okay.
But the PAR talks only, that is just the civil component. There are a lot of things which are added to it, like landscaping or solar or covered parking, which is completely built with RCC. If you look at the PAR document,
Yeah.
there are these notes which are going up to 5-6 pages. So it's called extra for. These items are called extra for. So while we have taken the base rate that you mentioned
Yeah.
as a base cost of construction, we have tried to foresee all that it will be extra for and have added already into the budget. Why? The simple logic is that we don't want to be surprised later. We want to provide for all the budget upfront. Now, knowing that this is a preliminary estimate, and in the detailed estimation stage, we will have much more knowledge on the specifications of this particular project. For example, how much meters of pathways? What is the width of the pathway? This will be in the detailed estimate as per actual. But here in the PAR document, there is only a provision to say pathways 2% of the total project cost. So this is still at a preliminary estimation stage, which is give or take more or less what we can plan for, but the DE will show us something a bit more precise.
Okay, according to this DPR that I'm looking at, the
PAR.
Premium I finish is between 3,100 to 3,800. The one that you presented is coming around 3,215. So within the premium finish, shall we expect a good quality finish or a premium finish?
That's what we are planning for.
Premium finish.
We are planning for a good premium. It's very Sunship-like, for lack of
Okay,
better
that's a premium
example.
finish.
It's a high quality or a medium quality or let's say a good quality without going overboard. We're not giving gold taps, but we are aiming at providing a good quality apartment for people to live in, maintenance free. Also, we don't want to burden the housing service. Every 6 months there's a maintenance to do because my wardrobe broke down. We don't want that. So we have taken the rates based on that logic.
Okay, one last question.
Yes.
What is that, the social infrastructure you are talking about that we are missing in Surrender? For example, we live in Surrender.
We don't have a community kitchen like Sunship or Citadine has.
Okay.
So we have solar kitchen close by, fair enough. But the master plan provides for these community infrastructures to be within the sectors. So it's totally walkable.
Yep.
So people have to rely less and less on their own kitchens. And
Mother said no kitchen in Auroville, right?
private kitchens, yeah.
Individual kitchen.
And the other thing is a creche, for
Yeah.
example. We are now expanding and there are a lot of new kids in Auroville. But the kindergartens are in the kindergarten belt and the road networks are not there, the trams are not there, the golf carts are not there, so the collective transport is not there. So it would be very convenient to have a creche in Sector 1, Sector 2 where the young ones at least can be dropped and all the adults around have an eye on the whole thing. So these missing infrastructures which are really needed for the next phase of Auroville development, only those have been provided for. Another thing we identified was the laundromat. Everybody has a washing machine. In no city, everybody has a washing machine, right? New York, everybody doesn't have a washing machine. So we have to build towards something where it's a very nice space to use. It's not just a room with a bunch of machines thrown in, but it's a laundromat. You can go there and you can come out with your clothes clean and dry. So enough space has been provided, enough planning has gone into it. Now it's up to us how we execute.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What is the timeline for your project?
It depends on the money. We are opening up now. We have a few people who already signed up for a similar, less detailed project a couple of years ago. So we have a list of people with some money, but we need a lot of money. So we are going to approach DCG and ask them how to put this up on portal so that donors can reach. We are going to reach out to ABIs and then we will see.
Yeah,
Yes,
but-
also we are looking at getting funding from CSR. We met a bank last week who is interested to fund housing project in Auroville. So we have had a very good initial discussion. It might go somewhere. They are very serious about it. So these are some possible avenues.
Yeah, then you should calculate also the escalation of prices, you see, because when you are taking, say, 5 or 10 years, the price will be very different than what you calculated.
Well, in 12 months, we can revisit it. If we are nowhere, then we can again redo because the PAR gets republished every year. So we know that if we go into the next Pondicherry area, preliminary area rates document published by Delhi, then we know that we have gone into a different price range. So we will redo the estimations at the time if the project is not able to start. But I would be very surprised. We believe that there will be enough money and momentum to start the first block within the year. And then once the block has started, the project can go on because something is already coming up on the ground. Right now it's all up in the air. And we don't know what that penetration of Sector 1 will look like. So there is an apprehension also. So once the first block starts, it is our belief that it will go very fast. Let's see.
One more question regarding this Mahalakshmi Park.
Yeah.
It is, I have not seen whether it is still there or are you building it?
It's not in this area. Mahalakshmi Park is not inside Sector 1. It's somewhere else.
Okay.
Hello everyone, I'm Lakshay. Yes. I'm going to make this presentation on orientation, but I'm making it on behalf of HRS and some also relates to visitor center team. I've invited them to be part of this presentation, but I don't see Suresh and Raja here, but I see some visitor center members here. Perhaps during the Q&A you can join us, please. So, as I said, this is about orientation, and when I was reached by FAMC to work on this for newcomers and for Aurovillians, I took it up because it's part of creating awareness, and I thought, why not also extend it within Auroville? It's part of creating awareness within. So that's how I approached this. So that's why I call it awareness to alignment. So alignment as the central axis, the orientation program becomes an anchor. Why are we calling it orientation program? Because it is part of the 2024 standing order. It mentions orientation program, material and spiritual refresher program, if I'm not wrong, that's the terminology, for newcomers and Aurovillians both. However, I took the liberty to little bit expand it, little bit in front. So orientation cannot be looked at in isolation and cannot be just for newcomers and Aurovillians. We need to see the whole picture. The way we see it, it starts from the visitors itself, that we need to orient them, and then the volunteers who are in thousands who also come and be part of Auroville, we need to orient them too, and then from there they become newcomers and then subsequently Aurovillians. So these are the programs that we have for visitors. Bonjour, welcome, vanakkam, namaste, Auroville. This is the program that we are running right now in Visitor Center. And for volunteers, we have something called Discovery. We call it Auroville Discovery Program. And of course, for newcomers, we have Orientation Program. I will get into the details after. And for Aurovillians, we are calling it as a Consecration, Auroville Consecration Program for Aurovillians. Okay, why are we starting with visitors? Little bit of a detail. We need to start with the seekers, and where does this start? We all know we have at some point been there in visitor center as visitors. So perhaps we need to start there. And all the awareness that we create in Auroville, at the end, it all in a way bottlenecks at visitor center, the way we see it. Awareness, it can be good, it can be all the controversies, which is bad, it can also be all the confusion that we create out in the open. However, they all get intrigued and they want to come to Auroville and know about good, bad and confused stuff. And who is providing all that information for visitors, for guests, for seekers? That's Visitor Center. And how do we ensure that when they visit, it's not just shops, it's not just coming through the pathway and seeing Matri Mandir from far and leaving Auroville? Is there a way to somehow state the purpose? What are we here for? How do we do things in Auroville, and so on and so forth? So for that, we are trying to create a more inviting atmosphere for the visitors, for the seekers. And as I said, we have this namaste, vanakkam, bonjour, welcome. Of course, 4 languages which Mother said for Auroville, thus these 4 languages. And for this we have started, piloted, and almost it has cemented in last 3 weeks, a program every day, an interactive session with the visitors which they can book from 11:30 to 12:15, 45-minute of interactive session. And so far, this is how we have been starting. We are starting with a 15-minute film by Olivier. It starts with Mother's, that statement of beautiful one, and then little bit of interviews of Aurovillians. However, this film is about 20-year-old, but nevertheless a good film. Eventually, maybe we'll change this and make it more contemporarize it, because the numbers are 35 countries and 1,500 residents, and it's dated numbers. So after the film, we have this Q&A, interactive session. People ask questions. And of course, you might know, if you have interacted with new people, they ask the generic ones: why are you here? You know, what do you do? What's your day like? All those generic questions. Perhaps if we can create this content and put it online, they can already pre-watch those basic questions and ask more deeper questions eventually, maybe in few months. But definitely some of the questions are very interesting. It is an experience to interact with them. Yeah, so these are few of the pictures, real pictures from the last few weeks. So as you can see, and also we are creating, the desk is set up right in the morning at 8 o'clock. So there are 2 batches of people who go to visit, who book for the inner chamber. So when they are waiting there in visitor center, we have this desk. They can book the session for 45-minute interaction. And then we have a roster of sorts to invite our Aurovillians. Yeah, sorry, that roster is missing. So we have, what we have done is, we have created a day for each groups. So for example, Monday is for people who are on the Silver Fund or elders. Tuesday is for, say, income generating groups. Wednesday is for service. Saturdays are, for example, SIRE. Sundays for working groups. So we are trying to invite people from those groups so that there's a nodal body, and they can then further book people to be present in visitor center and have this interaction. And so far, even the Aurovillians who have been there and experienced this, they have felt that this is really worthwhile, and they recommend everyone else also, so it is slowly spreading, which is good. Furthermore, we are also thinking, part of this campaign in a way, Bonjour, we are also seeing that all the day tours, which right now happens through various means. There are people who do it as a separate commercial activity. There are, for example, Inside India does it. There are other groups also which does it. Units do it. We are seeing if these can be centralized, not in a way more organized, so that people first interact, then we know who want to deep dive into Auroville aspect, and then for them a customized, more curated trips are organized. And again, not from a commercial tourism point of view, it's not to showcase what we have done, it's to give them an experience. So it can be related to, for example, themes on education. There are many school institutions who come wanting to know about Auroville, and taking them to just Swaram or Solar Kitchen is not enough. So can we curate, perhaps if they are already, we know that they are going to come, can we talk to a SIRE and organize something more meaningful for them, is what we are trying to do. And so just expanding, working with visitor does not mean it only happens in the campus. Right now it is somewhat like that, but after the campus, when they leave the campus, we don't know what they do. Then they are almost like the baton is passed on to Bharat Nivas campus, and then they don't have any continuity of what has been done with the visitors in visitor center. They have then shops and so on and so forth. Then they come out of visitor center of Bharat Nivas, and then they come here. They don't even know that they can come inside and there is peace table, and they don't even know, many do not even go into Savitri Bhavan, that they can go and explore Shri Aurobindo's books. So the idea is, can we also take stewardship of the entire pathway? So rather than, also we see that when the visitors come to Auroville, all the information is stuffed in that one big hall. All the walls are covered with text. How much do they take in? Is there a space to little bit settle in? The idea is if we can then create 5 to 6 stopovers in between. If we can look at the pathway, the circuit of sorts, it turns out to be about 4 kilometer. I don't know, maybe with ATDC we will see what is a new pathway and see how we can intersperse that information in good intervals. And also on the pathway we have this direction boards, which is very random, sometimes just printouts and with laminations. We were wondering if we can, along with this direction, can we give some questions, some quotes, which can make them wonder, ponder while they walk. And also these kind of triangular boards, we have about 5 sectors. So the idea is also, if we can represent the city of Auroville, we have about 6 zones. If those 6 zones are represented within the campus of Visitor Center, and also during their walk, these 6 zones are somehow represented, as I said, in equal intervals. Along with this, we are also seeing if the name itself can also be aligned with the purpose of ours. We have right now Visitor Center. It looks a little bit passive. It seems as if we are there to serve the curiosity of just the visitors. While that can be partially true, but it's not entirely true. So we are, and we also have this AIIC, which is also approved by the GB recently. And more importantly, Mother gave this Auroville International with her own handwriting for all our AVI work. So can we make Visitor Center as the Mother Auroville International Center? So Auroville International Information Center, AIIC, this, as I said, reflects the real purpose of what Auroville intends to be. It also aligns with the international zone because it is placed in the international zone. Moreover, we are under Ministry of Education. Our department is called International Cooperation Cell. So that also is a good alignment there. And moving away from tourist handling to more conscious engagement. Furthermore, we are also wondering if first floor above this Right Path Cafe, we can convert that as a AVI center, information center, very specifically. For example, in our interactive sessions, if there is a group of people from certain country, certain place, and they are interested to know more, then we can refer them to this Auroville International desk in the first floor. They can see, if they, for example, if they're from Germany, they can see who are the contact person in Germany where they can go back and connect with them, maybe do some activity in their own place. If there is none, perhaps we can also give them some sort of a starter kit. We can help them create a new chapter to begin with, and slowly that can become Auroville International eventually. So all those hand-holding can be done from this center. So I imagined all the G20 countries and the countries nearby India, all the SAARC countries here, what it can be if it is more unified. So the outcome, so this is a picture from one of the schools which attended this interactive session. So if we can touch on these 3 aspects, why Auroville exists, what it is trying to become, and how they can relate to it and participate in it, either come here or even from their own place. What are the options? And so moving from visitors to volunteers, this is the program, as I said, Discovery. We are imagining this to be a monthly exercise, and we have fixed date every 4th Saturday for volunteers from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. in the morning. The idea is then it is not just limited to volunteers. You can also then have interns be sent here. If you have some students who are working with you, they can also be sent to this program. If you have new joinees, staff, workers, perhaps they can also be referred to this program so that they understand where they have come to participate, what they have come to work in. And the flow is basically we invite a guest speaker, they give a presentation on Auroville, somebody who has been in Auroville for a while, and we open it up for Q&A and have a more open after a snack or something, an interactive session between them. The next one is orientation for newcomers. So we have this on a weekly basis, every Saturday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Most likely you might have received that mass bulletin asking you from your units to relieve newcomers to attend this program. The idea is to not just have this programs concentrated on few days, but spread it throughout. So ATR can monitor their attendance. They can then see how much they have participated, wanted to know about these programs. So far we have held 4. We started this with the first Saturday of November, and each Saturday is also themed. For example, the first Saturday is all about purpose, why Auroville exists, charter, the core documents, Shrebindo, mother. So every session there is a theme to it, even within this theme of purpose. So first one was on the purpose of Auroville. The second one, this next coming Saturday, we will be, the theme is Shrebindo. Perhaps we will hold it in, and also we are trying to do this in new location every time so that newcomers can also go and see these new places in Auroville. So this time perhaps it will be in Savitri Bhavan. And the second week is about practicality. So we expose them to different aspects of Auroville. We take them to the site, make that particular site people explain them their work. The first one we took them to Matri Mandir. So B explained about Matri Mandir, the whole work that went behind manifesting it. Next one we are imagining perhaps we can take them to eco-service to know about the waste management, so on and so forth. Every week there is a theme, every month. And the third one is about understanding the processes of Auroville. So on the third week we are inviting the working groups to come and present how they do things, what is the process, what goes behind all this mandates, policies and so on and so forth. So the first one we invited working committee to come and introduce the working group itself. Selvaraj attended it and he presented it to the newcomers. And the fourth Saturday is more of an interactive session. We want them to also to come and present what they can offer to the collective. What skills do they have? Perhaps they came volunteered somewhere and they're stuck there and they want to explore new options. So maybe they can explore what they would like to do in Auroville and also present it to the collective. That way we know what else they can do, and then it opens some doors for them. And we also invite at least 3 working groups. We have themes again. For example, the last one was education and youth, and we invited units, working groups, services related to that theme to come and present to them, so that if newcomers are interested in that particular work, they can join. It's not necessary that you come as a volunteer and you stay throughout in one place as newcomer. So this last Saturday we invited Sire, Youth Link and Yuvabe to present. And finally for Aurovillians, this is what we are planning every quarter, something like we did in 2015, a retreat like atmosphere, full day, we all come together, bless you, we all come together and consecrate. We remind ourselves why are we here. It's very important because we get lost in our day-to-day affairs, and the more time it passes, we get more engrossed in our work. Maybe every quarter, can we not dedicate ourselves to 4 days a year why we are here? That's the idea. So begin with a concentration chanting. We can have a plenary session. We can invite senior Aurovillians to come and present the purpose of Auroville, remind us all. And maybe we can also have breakout sessions according to theme. We have 6 zones. Maybe we can break out into 6 zones also and have further readings of Shrebindo and Mother related to that theme in a more concentrated manner. And perhaps some ideas can be harvested through those meetings also, which can be then published. Thank you. Suresh Shirkingla, Raja. Visitors Center, Vanga please. Yes. Vanga, yeah, Vanga, Shankar, Vanga. Please come, please come. Yes, Sindhuja, you raised your hand?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, please.
The sessions for the newcomers, you explained 4 of them, I think, so then
Yes.
they will kind of rotate. Are those 4 sessions then mandatory for newcomers, or they can attend one of the 4, or what? How is it structured for the attendance?
Okay, this is something which we want ATSC to give us clarity on. Right now we call it strongly recommended. We say that it is better for you that you attend all these sessions because it's actually informative. If you look at it, the whole 48-week program, I would have loved to participate in it. Right now, we are not calling it mandatory because then that takes in a different zone, people take it in a certain way. But it's up to us, up to ATSC, if you tell us how do you want to look at it.
So all 48 weeks you're saying could be mandatory or strongly recommended?
Right now we are calling it strongly mandatory.
All of them?
All of them, strongly recommended.
So it's not like X percentage of that would be sufficient? Because it is mandatory as per the residence criteria for newcomers. So how much of that would be mandatory according to you?
So this is something which we need to have a discussion on, because even the days, people are saying that they are working all week and they have one day for their family, 2 days. It's difficult for them. Some are saying they're working on Saturdays. And when it comes to ATR, then you can see, you have a very good reference point to see how many they have attended, and you can take a very personal call that even if they have attended only say 12 out of 48 session, but they have a very valid reason to not attend, then it is in your discretion to see what to do. I don't know. This is something which we need more clarity. I would like to have a conversation with this. If you want to make it mandatory, also we can make it mandatory. But there are practical aspects which we also need to consider. Shankar from Visitor Center, KLV Visitor Center, Kirinda. Yes. Prasad Saranga.
How many people are there right now as newcomers?
Right now we have exact round figure of 100. I don't know how that happened. I am told that we have about 30 new people coming. So next month onwards we have 130. Yes, it's a good number. But I also think that some of those 100, the feedback that I get from newcomers is they have been here for many years. So there is some reluctance to come attend because they say we know it all types. That also is there. We have been here many years. Yeah, we are facing those things also. So right now 100 to 130. For the volunteers, we have asked the list. I am told we have what again 100. I am not sure how many registered volunteers we have. Maybe you guys can give clarity on it. Registered volunteers. Yes, please. Shall I come on this side for you to be engaged? Toby, you seem to have some question. All right. Yes, please.
Just to understand the process, as a newcomer to attend this, I believe we are supposed to collect a starter kit from the HRS that is mentioned in the email.
Yes.
And there are 4 Saturdays, but some months have 5 Saturdays. So
Yes.
just wanted to understand that how a newcomer can participate, and do we need the starter kit before attending, and are all 5 Saturdays in a month going to have all the sessions or only the 4 Saturdays?
Okay, so I forgot to mention that this is what we give, this bag. This is what we call it as a welcome kit. What it has is basically useful stuff that can come along with you entire year. We have put together a booklet calling it Auroville the Aim. We have collected 12 of the major, very important pieces of Sri Aurobindo and Mother, like the 3 core documents, like Science of Living, 1 poem, Transformation, few chapters, that they should at least read those. We are also saying if we can have some reading circles for newcomers, because language for some is also a barrier. We are saying if we can, on the 4th Saturday, have sessions on, say, French and Tamil, and we read together. So we have one booklet. The second booklet, we call it Auroville the Way. That is all about practical aspects of Auroville. For example, the Foundation Act, the Galaxy Plan, different mandates. People as newcomers should know what they are entering into. So one is the foundational text, the second is the way, which are transitional text perhaps. And also with it, a nice T-shirt comes in the welcome kit. It says to be a true Aurovillian. That is a commitment in a way. It's not just a T-shirt. So it's a reminder every day. If you wear it every day. And then we also give a little card. So in case we recommend them to, when they attend the session, they get it signed by Suresh or Raja, who are HRS people. We are taking the attendance anyway, but tomorrow if they go to ATR and they say, oh, I attended 20 sessions and in ours it's only 12 sessions, maybe we forgot or there is an error, then they can show the card, see we attended and these are the sessions we attended. So it's in a way a double confirmation. Along with it, we have given about say 20 bookmarks, which is all about Mother's quote, Mother's small quotes on Auroville. It acts as a reminder also. Yes, so these are the few articles that come in the back. Antim?
So, yes, I want to know the budget of this for the whole year.
The budget right now, we do not know what is for the whole year because we have included some films and we thought for every session we can start with a small film on the particular theme, which has not been approved. So we are inviting people to talk about it. So the budget that I have asked for is about 60-70 lakhs
For the year?
for 1 year. But it is one capital investment because that films we don't have to do it every year. It's
Only for the film 60 to 70 lakh?
No. It includes the kits, the bags and stuffs like that.
All right.
And right now I have been approved about 30 lakh rupees for this entire program. But the way I see it, I don't just keep it for, as I said, this orientation program starts with bonjour and it ends with consecration. So it is not just meant for that in that sense. It's being used because the materials that we use, it's when it is created, it is used everywhere.
Correct. So the first year, according to you, 60 to 70 lakhs, you will launch this. There is some which is capital, some which is recurring.
Exactly.
It will be recurring, like the next year.
Some of the expenses can be recurring. So we are also seeing, for example, from the visitor center, the bonjour program, if all the day tours can be put there, that can be some income that profit can be generated and invested towards awareness for Auroville. That's
the newcomer.
Yeah. Also newcomer.
Yeah. So that's how money. If the program is good.
Yes.
Anyway, it looks good. Everything looks good. If the force wants, the money will come. And the money, Mahalakshmi will also dictate how much you can do for how long.
Money is not a barrier at all. As I said, we started the work long before money came. We started with the work, money when it arrived, we could print, simple things like that. Otherwise, we would have given a PDF, things like that. We have given a welcome kit with a bag, otherwise we would have given a nice smile.
All right. And then every year, like, so this has to go on every year, right?
Yes.
It has to go on every year.
It has to go on every year.
Because, from the practical level, if the newcomer comes when you are in the 28th session, let's say.
Yes.
Some kind of repetition may have to be, I don't know how
Very
it
good
works.
question. So this is a loop. It does not start here and does not end next November. It continues as a loop and all the sessions there is no chronology to it.
Correct.
Like you can join in January, you can join the third session where you start with mother.
Okay.
And you can continue till next January. You would have covered, say, Auroville, the purpose of Auroville as 11th month. You get what I mean? So it's a loop, it continues.
Yeah, so 3 to 5, let's say 52 weeks, let's say
48 weeks.
48 weeks. Let's say even some mishap happen this way, you can, sometimes you can do, you cannot do. Let's say 45 sessions, 45 into 2, 90 hours, you are asking newcomers to invest.
Yes, out
Correct?
of 1 year.
Out of a year. Fair enough. And then the themes will evolve itself, and if they attend 20, they see the tick of their sincerity can be shown also if they want to do. If they want to escape, it will be visible.
Yeah.
I think everything will be visible.
Yeah.
But that they have done some orientation, see, for the GB and for those people that people are interacting, that's what they want. See, the compulsion is another swing. Full freedom of not knowing anything to full compulsion is it's a correction. But actually, probably this, I would like you to keep some, see, this 1 year you experiment and you see, maybe that will also show you some statistics, you see how it comes and how, so it could be it could be something which can go, and even if people attend 20, 25 and they show commitment, that's a good start, no? And they can do the next year also if they want.
Exactly.
So to do it strongly recommended is a very good thing.
Yes.
Because, generally compulsion turns them off,
And also in Auroville sense,
Yeah.
compulsion and what?
Correct, what? So then we can also say, we can also request, in ATSC, ATR meetings also, we just deeply request them. It is a sincere request that it will be
Exactly.
good. So if people come, it will be nice, the statistics will show,
Yeah.
and if it is what we are supposed to do, then everything will work.
Thank you for saying that, because that's the attitude we are taking it also, that we are offering this as a
Correct.
service.
Correct.
Nobody is mandating us, it's not a compulsory thing for us at least, we are doing it as a service to the collective. And please participate in that spirit. So to add to it, what we are doing as aware, what I am trying to do is put every month, create a report, what has happened, who came and attended the session, we are also recording it. So these videos can become a reference point next year onwards.
Yeah.
And then also we every month end, at least the first month end, we asked for a feedback. We sent them a form. It's an anonymous one. No names need to be mentioned. Honest feedback. We want to know what's working, what's not working. So some of them are very flattering. They are very happy with most of them are happy with the exercise. Some of them are critical, which we welcome also.
Yes.
And if whatever we can learn from it, we learn from it.
Yeah, I'm very curious, and I wish you the best, because it's been attempted, but I'm very curious to see how it evolves, and the true creation can come only out of freedom. So
Absolutely.
if we can do that, that will be the ideal thing, but since we are not in the ideal thing, some kind of discipline which is bordering on to pushing them into freedom and doing by free choice will be much better than, it's little weary also to tell them you have to. For me also it's kind of very tough.
Yeah.
But still, we should be able to even, you'll have to, but on the basis of this spirit, it may work, it should work.
So if we look at the trajectory of the last 4 sessions, it's a little bit encouraging, because we started off with perhaps 20, 25 people. And right now, last one, the fourth one was 53, but it is still halfway through. But definitely there is an upward swing to it.
All right.
So as I said, it's encouraging.
Yeah, we wish you
Thank
the best.
Thank you. You are all welcome to be part of this everyday session in Visitor Center. And what do you think about the pathway? Because that's something which is it affects everyone in thousands every day. So if you have any observation on it, do you think it's worthwhile effort? If you think it is worthwhile, please participate in it. Come and interact with the visitors. Yes, we also call the entire campus of visitor center and workers and staff and guards and everyone, and had a session with them why we are doing it. Again, with bringing the spirit to the campus. We are saying that everyone in that campus is a steward, is an ambassador of Auroville. That people may not know whom to ask, whom should not be asked. They ask everyone for certain things. So what kind of spirit should be there? So this was very nice also. If you want to a little bit, how was it for Visitor Center?
No, actually I'm Shankar from Visitor Center. Actually it was a very good idea, because last Saturday we had all the campus workers, and we also invited outside workers to participate, and this was a fantastic idea, because they could breathe and ask some questions freely. How to say, have the courage to ask what they wanted to ask. So it was like the session was good, question and answers, and at the end actually they wanted to see the video of what we are showing to the workers. I was already, how to say, I was a little bit emotional, because all this year they are working here.
They have not seen it?
They may not able to see fully, and they were seeing it all. They were very happy. This is something new, and I really liked it. It was fantastic for me. And I have seen that video 100 times, but seeing with the campus people and experience and what the output, what they were telling out, it was good.
Yeah, we thought of it as a 1 hour 45-minute session. It went on for 2 hours actually. Yeah, 2 and above. Yes, Prasad. Yes, while the mic is with him, Prasad, coming back to you. Yes, solunga, Ante Madhukam. Okay.
Yeah, one last thing that the video which you show in the Bonjour program, that should perfect it as it goes.
Yes.
That is a must because that's the thing you should have pakka information, good video, that you work on it. The second thing is, it is heartening to see that we are calling them seekers. It's been my wish also to see everybody who comes in, knowingly, unknowingly, they are seekers. You should not see them as tourist visitors and try to reject them and
Yes.
they are souls who are somehow by some chance, by something, knowingly, unknowingly, they have come, who have popped in, who have come in, and you see them like that will bring the thing out. So that's a very good step which I really appreciated in the Bonjour program, that you see them as seekers. But how far, how much energy you are supposed to put for the outcome, I think it will be servitor, ambulando. You will see it by the, when you're doing it, how much that will kind of regulate itself. So
Exactly.
that's also good. But please do work on that video, that first impact video, work on that quite.
Yes,
Yeah.
everyone sees that, that's a comment, we often get it, but this is part of that budget. We need it. So when I asked, they said, why don't you just shoot with your mobile? And so this is what I'm little bit putting my foot down in a way. I'm saying either this takes the quality of the film to the level of say Virtual Bharat or Incredible India kind of films, or Olivier Barreau's film is better. I would not bring the quality down just for the sake of correcting the fact. I'm happy to say that this film is old, honestly accepting it, but not to make the quality.
Some changes need to be done.
Yes. If I mean, like you said, Mahalakshmi will come.
The script also. Try to work on the script.
Yes.
Some inputs. The script is so important. The first impact, the first thing is so important. The placement is very important.
In alignment, yes. Prasad, solunga.
I'm going to say something very honest. Lakshay, I thought you were an idea man. That was my impression of you so far. But today, after seeing this presentation, I'm really impressed. What you're doing is very, very important. The orientation is very important. And what you're doing, I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And one more thing. Yesterday, I had a chance to talk to 10 graduates who are doing film studies. They are doing a semester here. And I had a chance to interact with them. And why don't you get in touch with the Auroville Film Institute and see if they can produce some quality documentaries. Yeah? All the best. I'm really, really impressed.
Thank you. I've already written to Film Institute. I'm yet to receive any reply from them for a few months now. Second, we are happy to have volunteers, but we need some capital systems in place, like PCs to give them to edit, like things, and space. Solunga. Very good, yes. Yes, media service, please. Solunga,
Yeah,
please.
I'll say it in mic again. Let's
Sol-
call in Serena Aurora to make a super film.
And also Alessandra, beautiful
Yeah,
filmmakers. Also
let's-
Christoph,
let's
who made
make
this
them-
evergreen film. Very
Well, I
good.
don't know about Christoph production at this point, whether he has the machines and whether he's doing that, but Serena's definitely producing enough stuff, and Alessandra too. So if they can work together and this all Auroville asset can be put to good use, let's call them in.
Absolutely, I'm looking forward to that collaborative called Media Service.
One good Marco Bosco also was very talented.
But he is in Croatia now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. And we have Piero also. Maybe you should take back the camera.